We are on Mem Beis Omer Aleph. So Rabbi Yossi said that if he ended up carrying a lulav on the first day of Sukkot, which was Shabbos, by mistake, he doesn't have to bring a korban. Lo yishanu ela shelo yotza bo. That's only if he had not been yotzei mitzvah lulav, and by taking it, by holding on to it, he's yotzei. At the same time, he's yotzei the mitzvah. He's violating Shabbos b'shogeg. Therefore, in that case, he's potter because he's torud b'mitzvah. Aval yotza bo. But if he had already been yotzei the mitzvah slulav, and yet he still carried it, then he'd be chayav a korban. Freit the Gemara, what do you mean? Shelo yotza bo. How could he have avoided being yotza? Once you pick it up, you're yotza lulav. Because he turned it upside down. Turning upside down is not kimitzvah, so, and therefore he carried it without being yotze. Rav Amar Filu Temer Shelo Yavcho, even without turning it upside down. Like when we first take the lulav, we keep the esrog upside down because you have to make the bracha oiver l'siyasim before you make the mitzvah. So you keep the lulav in a way that you're not yotze it. So then you make the bracha while it's still upside down. Then you turn it up right side up, and then you make the nanui. So Rava wants to say you could explain the shita even without upside down. For example, you carry the lulav in a bag, and in that way, it's not derech kavod, it's derech bizoyin, and you're not yotze. Rava in a previous sugya said, if we sort of use a holder and hold on to the lulav through a holder, it's called taking the lulav. Derech kavod, yeah. For example, you hold it with a napkin or a nice adornment that you're holding it with. But derech bizoyin, it's not considered that you're going to be yotze with it. If you find a bird by the bizbeach, and you're not sure whether it's an oilas ha'oif or a chatas ha'oif, and we know that an oilas ha'oif is burned completely, no one eats it. But a chatas ha'oif is eaten by the kohanim. So therefore, kisfor chatas ha'oifi v'achla. He thought it was a chatas, so he ate it. So the din is potter from a korban. We don't see that he was mal behegdish, and he had benefit by eating something that he shouldn't have eaten, because he did it b'shoigeg. So freit the Gemara, my kamashmal on the top of dvar mitzvah potter, because he made a mistake, but it's a dvar mitzvah. That's why you're potter. Well, hainu hach, that's the same case as Rav Yossi with the lulav. So why do I need it a second time? I would say I might have thought hasamu the top of dvar mitzvah potter by the lulav. When he made a mistake, hainu david mitzvah, because he was performing the mitzvah of taking the lulav. Listen, by eating an olas ha'of, thinking that it's a chatas ha'of, no mitzvah was done, maybe you wouldn't be potter. Kamash malon that you're potter, even though no mitzvah was performed. Meisvei Rabbi Yossi Yomer Hashoichet es hatomid she'ena mevuker kilchosu b'Shabbos. So you're allowed to shech the korban tomid on Shabbos. However, the din is that the animals that are shechted for the tomid have to be checked 4 days in a row to make sure they're not a bamu. Now, if he shechted a tomid that was not checked, you're chayv v'chatas. Let's say you found that it was a balmum. You're chayv v'chatas because you did a malacha that you weren't supposed to do on Shabbos. Even though l'chor you're doing a mitzvah, v'tzorach tamid acher, you have to bring another tomid. That's an exception. You can't learn from there. Amar Amarav, Kegon, Sheviu Malishka Shenem Avukarin. He knew lechatchila that it came from a place where all these animals had not been checked. So he should have been much more careful. Because he wasn't careful, he has to bring a korban chatas. Mishnah. Mekabela sisha miyad beno miyad bailo. A woman can receive the lulav from her son or from her husband. And let's say the lulav was sitting in water. She can return it to the water so that it shouldn't dry up. Also, even on Shabbos. Rav Yehuda Rabbi Shabbos machzirin b'yontav moisifin. On Shabbos you can return it, but you can't be moisif mayim. However, on Yontav you could be moisif mayim. Uva moed machlifin. Moed you can dump the water completely and change the water. Kotna yodel naneh chay b'lulav. Here's a din in mitzvahs chinuch. A cotton who knows how to shake the lulav is chayiv to shake the lulav als mitzvahs chinuch. Freitig more pshita. I mean, why shouldn't the woman be able to be makabel lulav? Ma to say mahol v'isha lav bar chiyuvahi. A woman is not a bar chiyuv because it's mitzvah sasesha as man grama. Maybe emilot kabel. Maybe regarding her it should be muktzah. Kamash Malon that it's not muktzah for her. It's since it's royal and it's anoshim, it's got a Torah's kli and it's not considered muktzah. A cotton who knows how to shake the lulav, you have to give him a lulav. A cotton who knows how lisatev, how to put tzitzis on, chayiv but tzitzis. A cotton who knows how lishmor tefillin, that he shouldn't go into the bathroom with it, aviv lokech tefillin. Father could buy him tefillin. Yodel daber, the child starts to speak, aviv lom the Torah kriyashma. Father teaches him Torah and kriyashma. So Torah mai, how can you teach a child, an infant who just said his first words? What kind of Torah can you teach him? You teach him that pasuk, that there's a kesher ben Yisrael and Torah. That's Torah. And what's Kriya Shema Mai? Pasuk Rishon. You teach him Shema Yisrael. Hayodel Ishmor Gufo. If the child knows not to touch things that are tamei, you can eat. Someone who is careful to only eat his food b'tahara can eat something that the child touched. Lishmor yodav achval yodav taros. If he's careful to keep his hands clean, then also he can touch foods and you can eat it from him. Now, Yodel Ishoel, if he's old enough that you can ask him a question as to what he touched, so then it depends. If he's found with the item in Rishus HaYachid, then if we don't know what it is, it's going to be Tomei. Rishus HaRabim Sfeiko Tohor. And if it's Rishus HaRabim, if it's a Safek, and he says to you, I don't know what it touched, in either case, it'll be a Safek, but Rishus HaYachid it'll be Tomei, Rishus HaRabim it'll be Tohor. Hayodeh Lifros Kapov, if the child is a Kohen, he knows how to hold his hands up. If he duchens, you can give him truma. Hayodeh Lishchoit Oichle Mishchitaso. God who knows how to shecht, you can eat from mishchita. When an adult has to supervise. In our generations, he's not shoichet lechatchila. Only a gadol that has reshus to shoichet, to shech. Yachol lechol kazayis dagan. If the child can eat kazayis worth of wheat, So the din is marchikin his urine and his excrement will smell, and that's when the dinim apply that you have to stay away from them when you daven or learn 4 amas. Up until then, the child's refuse will not smell. It's not just eating a kazayas. You have to eat it within 9 minutes. If it takes them longer, then it's not going to be concentrated enough to cause the din that you have to separate from these items. By a gadol, you have to stay away from his excrement no matter what, even if he can't eat b'chtechilas pras. The Yosef Das, Yosef Bachel. As a person gets older, he's Yosef Das, and he has more masriach, it smells more. Yachol lechol kazayis tzli. If a cotton can eat a kazayis of roasted meat, shechtel lavas a pesach, he can be, you can count him into the group when you subscribe for Korban Pesach. Ish lefi achlo tachos v'laseh. Rav Yeromer ad sheyachol levar achila. It's not just enough that he can eat, he has to be able to choose food. What does that mean? Noisten lo tzror v'zorko. He knows that if you give him a rock, he throws the rock away. But if you give an egg goes, you give him a walnut, that he takes it and he eats it. So he knows that if he reaches that level, so then you can join with him by the Achilas Pesach. Perak Ravi, Lulav Arava, Shisha V'Shiva. Sometimes you're going to carry the Lulav and the Arava 6 days, 7 days. Ha'alal V'Asimcha is always going to be 8 days. Sukkah V'Nisa Chamayim, Shiva. Chalil, the wind instrument, Chamisha V'Shisha. And the Mishnah will explain, Lulav Shiva Ketzad. Yontav Rishon Shachar Shachar Yos B'Shabbos, when the first day of Sukkot falls on a Shabbos, then Lulav will be Shiva. Because you'll take it on Shabbos, because according to, this was before the Gzer that they didn't take it on Shabbos. Now, Ushar Kol Yomim Shisha, if the first day of Sukkot falls on a Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, then you're only going to take the Lulav on the 6th day, because you're not going to take it on Shabbos unless it's the first day. On the first day of Shabbos, that's a dispensation. Arava Shiva Ketzad. Yom HaShvi Shel Arava Shechal Yos B'Shabbos Arava Shiva. If Hoshana Rabbah falls on Shabbos, which in our calendars will never happen, then you took the Arava all 7 days. But if Hoshana Rabbah falls on any other day, they're only going to take the Arava 6 days because they won't take it on Shabbos. Now, how do they perform the mitzvah lulav on Shabbos? Mitzvah lulav ketzad b'Shabbos. Yontav Arishon Shel Chag Shechal Yos B'Shabbos. If Shabbos fell, the first day fell on Shabbos. They would bring the lulavs to the Harabais. The Chazanim, the Shamasim, Mekablim, the Sodrin, Asal Gabi Yitztava. They would arrange the lulavim on a stage. The elders would put it in an office. They would tell everyone, listen, you should have in mind that when whoever picks up this lulav, it'll be for him as a matana, because there's no way for them to go back and find their own lulav. They would wake up early. The shamasim would throw the lulavs in front of them. They would grab and they would hit. Bezdin changed. They said everyone should shake the lulav in their house and not bring it to the Beis HaMikdash. Now, this halacha that it comes out that on a regular day, you wouldn't take the lulav. I might, if it fall on Shabbos. I might till Ba'al Lulav Litchi Shabbos. Muktzah is only rabbinic. Taking the lulav is doraisa. Why shouldn't the doraisa overcome the muktzah item? There's nothing to do with muktzah. It's a different gzeira. That if you're going to allow them to take the lulav on Shabbos, they'll go and carry it b'rshus harabim arba amois to an ex. The aviyenu arba amois b'rshus harabim. V'hainu time of the shofar, v'hainu time of the megillah. It's the same for the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, the same for Megillah on Purim. Now,